Hi guys, welcome back to Blended. We are back again with another episode. I'm with my amazing co-hosts Cilla and Nathalie. Blended is a podcast where we literally talk about everything to do with a blended family. The good, the bad, the messy, and of course the beautiful moments of being part of a blended family. This is our life and we just seem to love talking about it, ladies.
We do.
So this episode's a little bit different. Like you guys, I go home and tell my family about my day and about lots of the questions that people send in. And one of the topics that we're talking about is, can you love your stepchildren and biological children the same? I basically said to Tia, how do you feel about Cree and Shay? Do you feel like they're treated differently? Do you feel like they're treated equally? Like, what are your feelings? She's 13, by the way. So we had a few messages back and forth, but I think this is the best one. She sent me a little voice note.
Hello. I don't really know what to say because, I feel like it's fine. I'm used to it. And I feel like we're all treated, 100% equally. And I don't think that there's, Cree and Shay and then me taking the Wrens. I was so excited when the babies were born. When Cree was born, I kind of felt like I was a bit jealous because, he was the baby and I wasn't. But, when he got older and when Shay was born, it was, all fine. So, yeah. No, I feel equal and love the babies. So lots of love at the blended community.
Aw, cute.
I mean, I don't know if she's just saying that, but I would like to think that they
It
do.
was honest.
She's honest because I did say to her then afterwards, be honest, tell me more. It's not, it doesn't all have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And she said, no, listen, that's how I feel. So I think.
How do you feel hearing that?
That's
Is that a win?
That's a win, isn't it? That's a massive win.
Definitely.
Because for me personally, I feel like I work really hard to ensure that everyone hopefully feels equal and that there's no divide. Yeah. And I think that can be difficult, especially when you first have newborn babies, because naturally when I had Cree, new experience, new baby, don't really know what I'm doing. And they just take more of your time. It's hands-on time.
Yeah.
And that time takes away from some time of the children.
And Tia was the baby.
And Tia was little then, I think she was 8 or 9 then.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's this new little person that takes all of your time, or most of your time, and it's a huge adjustment. So it's something that I was really, really conscious of. But I think now that they've grown up a little bit, the younger kids, they're a little bit older, it's easier to manage your time.
Yeah.
And I would hope to think that all the children do feel equal because I work hard for that. But I know it's something that everyone struggles with. So we've got lots of different takes on this. Step parents can struggle with that they don't love them equally and how to deal with that. Stepchildren and biological children can feel the separation in love and feel different to their siblings, which is something to talk about. And just how to manage all of this. I remember a few years ago, someone asked me a question and it was on social media and they said to me, do you love all your children the same? Which is a wild question to ask, by the way, I think.
Yeah.
But I get asked it so many times that I just decided to answer it, and I did, saying I think the love is equal. The love is formed in different ways. So I feel like when you have a biological child, you love them, from my experience, before they even are alive, because you get used to having them in your belly. It's just you love them instantly. Yeah. Whereas with a stepchild, it's not an instant love because you don't know them and they're already little formed beings, and you have to get to know them and to love them. But at the end of the day, no love is the same, but it's of equal measures for me. And people were baffled by this. There was uproar. Yeah. There was people saying there's no way you can love them the same. What a bad biological mum that you could love them, other children that aren't yours. She's lying. I was just like, wow.
That sounds like projection.
I was so shocked because it is different love. I don't really love any of my 5 kids the same because I have a different relationship with each of them.
Mate.
But the argument is, for those who love and love easily, the argument, there is a group of people in the blended community that would say, I love my biological children and my stepchildren the same, not in measurement, but in feeling. I would die for them the same. I would sacrifice for them the same. I feel the same way towards them. Me personally, Cilla, I can't see how that could possibly be, especially because I don't even love my biological children the same. They have their own, like, I love them, baseline, but I love them for different things. I love them for who they are, for their uniqueness. The same way, like, I love different adults differently. Do you understand? So I would never now impose my thoughts and feelings on someone. If you say to me that you love your stepchildren and your biological children the same, I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not inside of you. That's fine.
But I mean, in the same measure, like, for example...
what your language makes more sense to me, right? But there's other people that will challenge your language and say, I'm not talking about measurement, I'm talking about feeling.
You're feeling.
I love them like they're they could have come from my body.
Okay, put it this then. If there is, like, we're in the building's on fire, there's no way, sorry biological children, Cree and Shay, I'm running out my 2 biological children, leaving the others. Yeah. We all go or we're all dying.
Yeah.
That is generally how I feel. Yeah. I couldn't do that. But then I live with my children full time, my stepchildren. I'm going to sound a bit psychotic here, yeah? Because I do think it is weird. You won't understand it. But sometimes it's like, I don't know if it's even right to say, like, I forget that I'm not their mum. Okay. That sounds weird.
No.
I know they've got a mum,
yes,
and I respect their mum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes a stark reminder on, like, Mother's Day or whatever reminds me, Kate, fucking hell. Yeah. You're not actually, like, their mum. Like, my relationship with Tia is just, I could not even imagine my life without her in my life every single day. Mm-hmm. Like, but then I have got a very special, I'm lucky to have that relationship, and I know that is not the same across the board for everyone. Absolutely. I know it's confusing, but it's...
I know, Natalie, you want to say something.
Come on, Natalie, she's ready. That head is spinning.
Before I swing it to the left, I'm just going to let you say something.
There's so much on this, but I'm going to start with, I'm not a biological mum. So...
What do you compare it to? Love is love.
Thank you. But love is love, right?
I know.
Love is love.
Love is love.
I know.
And let's start with, what is love?
I don't know.
It's an action. It's a doing. It's a
doing,
lifestyle.
Right?
Yeah.
But we were just saying, like, love is a feeling. But I don't think love is a feeling. How I like somebody can change from day to day and be conditional, yes, right? Based on how you're talking to me that day, how you're behaving. Yes. Did you buy me a birthday present? Did you acknowledge me? You know, I'm not talking about my stepson, but I'm just, like, generally people in my life. But love itself is like, I think I always describe love as a verb. So love is like a doing word, right? Yes. So it's how you're showing up for people. Like what you said about the house is on fire, who you're running in and saving. You're running in and saving the people that you love, right? Mm-hmm. I can't, my brain can't reconcile with loving or not loving somebody, a child, a person, because it's not your biological child, or loving them in a different way. You love your husband. You but only met him, but...
Differently to how you love your kids, but you still love them.
No,
you do.
The love is different.
But now we're comparing love. So, yes, it's easy to say, I love a plethora of people. I love a whole bag of people. That's good and normal. You should love a couple of people in your life, right? But we're now comparing... Yeah.
I think I don't understand because I don't have biological children. I think there's a disconnect for me, because for me, love is love. Like,
do you love your dad and your mum the same?
I don't love my dad. I don't know him.
Do you love your mum and your husband the same?
Do you love all your friends the same?
No, because I don't love my family and my husband the same.
You love your mum and your husband the same?
Yes. I'm
not going to challenge you.
If my mum
Sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm just laughing at Cilla's facials. It's not you.
Yeah, like if my mum needs anything from me, if either of them need my kidney, they're getting my kidney.
No, I agree.
But you know, there's different expressions of love.
Do I like my mum and my husband the same? No.
But you know, there's different expressions of love as well. So
love is love.
Because I
in
love
my
you,
book.
Because I love you so much, I want to get naked with you.
That's not about the love, because
absolutely.
when I can no longer undress myself because I'm decrepit and old, I'm still gonna love my husband. It's not going to be a different love that I feel today that I feel for him when I'm 90.
Absolutely, but I'm saying that even in 124 hours, there's different expressions of love. Because you love me, you've expressed it this way in this moment, that way in another moment. When me and my husband are fighting, I can still express love to him and not chat to him. Do you understand?
Yes.
Like, I can still serve you. I can still, like, you know, I was walking out somewhere, whatever, and I know that this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
And I got that for you. But
would you do that?
But I don't even like, I would.
I wouldn't. You're a better woman than me.
I would.
I'd walk straight past it and send him a photo and say, I didn't get you that.
Not what you missed. But yeah, because I express love, because I love him, there's different expressions of it that I give to him, because love is a doing thing. Do you understand? So we can say that we love our stepkids, and we love our biological kids, and we love the school kids that we teach, and we love the kids in the community centre. We love them all, absolutely. But what I do for my biological children, for example, or what I'm allowed to do, So, for example, I can bathe my biological children, see them naked and all the rest of it. Yeah. I'm not allowed to bathe my stepchildren.
But does that make you love your stepchildren?
But the bonding is
But
less.
hear what I'm saying to you. Yeah. Exactly.
Because you bond in those moments.
There's things that I can do with my biological children that expands my expression of love, where I'm limited with my stepchildren. Yeah. So do I love them the same? No. Have I been allowed to even love them the same? Have I been allowed to even love them at all? Maybe not. So I'm saying, like, there's varying, there may not be varying degrees of love. I love you equally, but the expressions of love are differently. And that's where you answer the comparison question. Can you love a biological child and a stepchild the same, an adoptive child and a biological child the same? Are you allowed to? Do you have the freedom to? Do you have the liberty and the time to get to know them enough to say, I love you? Because we already stated off the bat that when you first meet your stepchildren, you don't know them. How can you just love? You might be willing. Wait, you might be willing to love. Your heart is open to love.
I decided I am going to love you in each and every moment.
You've decided
when I met Cameron.
Open to.
I decided I am going to, everything that I do for you from the moment that we met is coming from a place of love.
No,
but you can't decide.
I can decide.
Sorry.
I can decide.
You can decide, but that doesn't mean you're going to love them instantly.
Imagine if your biological child, right? Your biological child grows up, 18 years old, punches you on the nose. Yeah. Bucks you up, smashes up your whole yard, blows up your car. Yeah. You still love them more than you love your stepchild who came to your rescue and nurtured you. Exactly. It's conditional because you decided in that moment.
I love you, but I don't like you.
But we're at odds, my friend. Okay, because whoa.
So then what is love?
But my point is that love is an expression, like we've determined.
Oh, I'm heated.
Yeah?
I'm heated.
Love is an expression, and it can be a base of how we treat people. So like, I could just be a loving person. Yeah. So if I see someone in need, I don't know who they are, please. I don't know who they are, but they're in need. Yeah. I will avail myself to them. Yeah. I'm going to help you because I know I can.
And you have that capacity.
But what was that person's name? And do I love that person that I helped? Don't know who you are. Don't know your name. Don't love you. But I can show you love because I am genuinely a loving person. Yeah. So if we now compare, you did that loving thing, that doing thing to that stranger on the street. Do I love that person the same way I love the other males in my life? Absolutely. I don't know who you are. Absolutely not.
I think maybe then if we're talking about this, no love is the same. Yeah. With each. So I maybe treat my children all the same and hope that they would feel my love in the same way.
In your expressions, absolutely.
And the way that I treat them would be equally, and they should feel equal measures of love, although they have different levels of my love at different stages of their life.
And they require different things from you also.
At different stages.
Because my stepsons, like when they used to come round, they may not see me for the majority of the time that they're there because I'm a sleepy babe. It's the weekend. I want to chill. Like, I've been homeschooling all week. I've been up and down. I've been running errands. I've been working. I want to chill out. It's not because you're here, I'm still on. I'm actually off, right? But are they going to walk away and say that, oh, my stepmom does not love me? Absolutely not. They're not. I still cook for you. I still chat to you. I still inquire about your week. I've still got love for you. Will the children say that I treat them differently? Absolutely. Because mum was with me Monday to Friday. She took me here. She taught me. She did this. My stepsons are going to be like, yeah, my stepmom's a sleepy babe.
So do they love you the same?
Probably not. And I don't expect that. All I've ever wanted is for my because I'm a part-time stepmom, right?
I don't mean the same as their mum, but I mean, do they love you?
The children love me. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And I think that's cool because the conflict in the very first place and the loyalty bonds is just a bit of a mazzolina, right? So it's like, do you even have the freedom to love me? You can't even talk about me. You can't go home and say, Auntie Priscilla did this, You can't, you're not allowed. So I don't exist outside of this house for you.
So complex.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's like, can these children feel the depths of their love for me or even explore it? Probably not. But my goal was for them to grow up and say, my Auntie Priscilla was cool.
Okay, so, right.
So, break it down.
So, do you think then, here's the question, for the people that feel like they don't love their stepchildren in equal measures and they...
Or at all.
Do you think it's right to show that? Because I would think that even if you don't love them in equal measures, you should never make them feel that.
I think
so it goes back to
shown.
the loving situation. Yeah. I don't love you, but I'm a loving person. So if this young person has come to me and said, Auntie Priscilla, I'm hungry, am I a witch? I'll feed you. Do you understand? Like, okay,
do you have to love someone to feed them?
I don't have to love you to feed you. I don't. I simply don't. And that's what I want stepmoms to understand, where they're struggling to form a bond with their stepchild or to be able to like confidently say, I don't love them. But is there a respect there? You love this person's dad. Yeah. Do you respect your relationship enough to avail yourself in service to these stepchildren? To me, that's enough. It might be a bit of a sting to the birth mum, like, rah, you don't love my child. I hear it, but I respect your child. I will serve your child and I will love on your child. Do I love your child? No.
I don't want you round. I wouldn't want you round.
I have it.
My child.
I
if
have
you
it.
didn't.
And I don't argue that either.
Yeah.
For the birth mum, I cannot, especially because I am a birth mum as well, I cannot say to a birth mum, I'll be easy, like this expectation's too heavy kind of thing. If I'm a birth mum and I want their teachers to love them. I want everyone to love my children, frankly. But I'm me as a coach, I'm never going to say to a birth mom, do something with them feelings because a stepmom's within her rights. A stepmom is within her rights, but I know that it can feel hard to accept for a birth mom. I get that. It doesn't mean your child's in danger.
Oh, this is hard. Do you know what it is? Because I've actually never heard it from this perspective. I live in my own little bubble over here. I've come to terms with this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I meet lots of people from the blended community and the walks and things like that, but it's so different from where I'm sat that it's actually...
And for you, Nathalie, it is. And I think, again, this is why this conversation is good. So I'm saying it to you. Now you tell me what you think. And it's just to understand that, yes, stepmoms, we can we can relate on so much, but we are 100% living different lives. We're living different dynamics, and we are different people. So we are internalizing and taking things in differently. One thing that I do not like is when stepmoms come head to head. Yeah, there are like I'm a big advocate on not judging someone from your place of strength. Okay, so just because you love your stepchild, just because your heart was open from the jump, yeah, and just because you've formulated this bond and it's really worked for you, there should not be an assumption
that
it's easy for the next stepmom.
Yeah.
And this is what this is about. It's about opening our eyes and everyone that's listening's eyes to different perspectives and changing our perspectives on some things. I think what it is with stepmoms, we are kind of expected to love our stepchildren as if they're our own, nurture them, care for them, but not overstep the mark and act like we're their mum, because that's disrespectful. And then, but if they go, be fine with it. Like, that is wild.
The playing field is different.
Yeah, it is
not
different.
Uneven, just different.
It's very, very different.
I have a... sorry.
Go on, sorry. I was just thinking as well about another thing that, as we're talking about the love and the differences in love, and when you have a biological child, you are pretty much there, if you're still with the parent, for every moment of their life. So you know most things about them. Maybe when I'm comparing my biological children to my stepchildren, I'm just thinking about the differences in between, is that they've had a whole lot of life without me, and that in certain situations, not many, can cause a slight feeling of divide, which could be a reason as to why there's a different kind of feeling, because of whatever's happened there causes issues. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like with my biological children, from my experience personally, there is nothing to be put in between us.
Yeah.
No other family member can put anything in between me and my biological children. But with my stepchildren, I want nothing in between us. But there are certain things, because they have a life before me, their mum's passed away, there's a whole nother family of theirs that I'm not connected to. That puts a slight barrier. So as much as I want to, and I want you to be my everything, I want to scoop you up, and I do, and be everything, there is naturally always going to be a gap, because I've missed, for like Lorenz, who's the oldest, 8 whole years of his life.
Yeah. Or there's a part of their world that you're not welcome,
or that I don't know.
Not that you're not welcome into, but that you don't know.
And that makes me really sad. I'm a stepmom that upsets. Although it's weird, like I find it hard to actually articulate, because I respect their mum and their relationship with their family and the relationship that was before me with Rio and their mum. However, it saddens me that I wasn't part of their life then. It's a confusing feeling for me.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest with myself, I that obviously will cause a divide in certain situations. On everyday life, when we're all here as a 5 and we're cooking dinner and we're doing our normal things that normal families do, don't feel that. But on certain occasions, that gap feels large.
And then in most scenarios, I would say that's not a blended family thing. That's a family thing. What you're describing is a blended family thing. And this is something that blended families have to go through. There are unique hardships, unique struggles, unique considerations that we will go through, because there was a first family, like it or not. There was an establishment, there was a building of bond and trust, and there was something that may have or is broken as well. And there's a fallout from that, and you just entered into it all.
So my situation is quite different in the sense of, obviously I don't have biological children. We're going to keep saying that throughout this whole episode, but my husband and his ex-partner, my stepson's mum, they never raised him as a family. Okay. So they never built a family nucleus. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's not really anything to compare that to, although, of course, for 18 years, he had his life,
with mum and dad.
For 16 years with mum and dad. And even though it wasn't a family nucleus, it was still, I wasn't involved. Yeah. And of course, that's a history, but I don't see that as a determinant. I don't see how that would determine whether I love him or not. I just can't get my brain around love being conditional based on, there's a part of your life that I wasn't involved in. I didn't meet my husband till we were 36.
Yeah.
37.
So that wouldn't determine if you
I don't think, my husband's had a whole life before me. I'm only going to love you in a... But it doesn't... it doesn't dictate how we love each other.
No, it doesn't.
It's the love of my life.
No, it doesn't. And Ria's the love of my life. However, maybe because there's a family unit that he was a part of, not all the time, like 2% of the time, I might think, oh, God, they've done so much and that I wasn't a part of. I do naturally think that.
Yeah.
When we're looking through family photos for the kids and I'm just all of a sudden have this out-of-body experience that I'm looking at you as a lovely family and I'm like, wow, I never had that before him because I'm younger than him.
Yeah.
He's my first husband. This is my first family.
Yeah.
So all of this is my everything. Rio and the kids, all 5 of them are my everything.
Yeah.
I might get emotional here. I don't know why I feel emotional, but they had this whole life before me, which I respect and I appreciate, but that doesn't mean that you're all my everything, but might not be everything to you. And that's something that I struggle with sometimes.
And you're not
I am it's the time of the month, guys. So
and you're not alone in that either. And that's what makes it so deep for stepmoms. Like you're asking for so much. And it's exactly the same for stepdads as well. You're asking for so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a slot piece. Like as step parents are not slot pieces.
What does that mean?
Like
slot piece.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't just slide into what you guys have got going on.
Yeah.
For me, I want to create with you. I want to build a foundation with you. I want to be a part of this thing from the very beginning of me entering in. I don't want to just be added onto what you guys have already got going on. And I'm always going to be lagging behind. It's a major thing. When step parents, you become this blended family with their partners, it is their everything. I have never been married before, but I had a child before my husband, but my husband is my everything. Our family is my everything. And even though it may have taken me time to love my stepsons, in fact, honestly, I'll say to you, when it was determined that I loved them is actually when they were taken away from me. Oh. That's when I realized.
When you realized.
I felt like I'm easy. Like I don't feel this. Like what I feel for my biological children, it makes my heart want to burst. Like I feel like I cannot contain what I feel for my biological children. I don't know what I would do without any of them, kind of thing. Whereas with my stepchildren, I know what I would do without them because they're here every now and again.
Ooh, that's really honest.
You know, I know what I'll do without them because they weren't there before. So I might just go back to the way things were before I knew them. Do you understand? But then when they were taken away from me, I said, wait, what is this thing that I'm feeling? And then I realized that actually they have become so a part of my everyday thinking, but I hadn't really noticed it until, I don't have to think about how much I need to cook or what I need to buy or how we're going to plan this weekend because they're not here no more. Like I'm thinking about, okay, learning how to navigate family court. Like what is this? Like what is happening? And now I'm in conflict. Now I'm sad. Now I'm upset. And now I'm missing what I had when they were just casually, what I felt like was casually them being around was actually a lot deeper than that. Now, if me and my husband were, God forbid, to ever split up, regardless of the fact that I don't see them regularly anymore, it will cut me up. Will it cut them up? Probably not. They might be upset, but they will find a way to move on. This will always be ingrained in my mind to the day that I die.
Yeah.
Shit.
I kind of had a series of realizations as you were speaking. Do you feel
what
like...
did you realise?
I think part of it is proximity as well. Like if you have stepchildren that you that don't live with you, that you only ever see now and then you have biological children that you've given birth to and they've lived with you since birth and you're bonded and you have a family nucleus, then
it can expedite a lot.
That it would make sense that you just wouldn't have those bonds
or as quickly
or to bond as quickly. Like the bonds that you have with all of your children is probably largely in part to the fact that you all live together.
Yeah.
And you see each other day in, day out, and you operate as a family, like what's the word that I'm looking for? Conventional family
mum, dad and children.
Mum, dads and children in the home. So it's like everything that we discuss is so layered and so complex.
Yeah.
This is why I love it, because I'm sitting here, I come and I'm like, yeah, I love them. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And
I'm like, you must be mad.
Yeah, you're telling them to go to therapy.
Uh-huh.
And actually, there is so many like variations of step parents
Too
and
much
children
to consider.
that everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
And that this saying of comparing who do you love more is so damaging.
Yeah.
Because it just shouldn't be like that. I think for me, as long as a child feels your love and feels like you treat them equally.
That's it, really.
Then that is the importance.
Doesn't matter what I think or feel.
It's not about what I feel.
Yeah.
It's how I've made you feel.
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
And how you grow up to feel.
Yeah.
How secure were you?
Yeah.
It just, like, we don't have to verbalize these things. I think these questions need not be asked, to be honest. But between adults or within communities, we should talk about these things, because if I look at UK, I just think, oh, she's got it all together.
I don't.
Oh, like, you know, she's the greatest. No,
definitely.
I
you know me.
I don't. but
I do. She knows the real me, guys.
But I'm saying, like, someone on the outside will be looking at stepmoms, or I'm sure there's people that look at me that think, oh, she just talks about these things, like she's probably got such thick skin, or you weren't there when I was crying. Do you understand? But I can tell you that I've cried so much in this stepmom. I've cried so much. I've cried to my husband. Me and my husband have been at war. I'm just like what kind of dad are you? Like, why are you allowing these things? Like, I've been his enemy at times. We've been through a lot. Do you understand? But until we have these conversations and normalize it and get people out of their heads thinking that I need to be this way, or my stepmother journey should look like your stepmother journey or your stepmother journey, we're never going to get confident within ourselves, and it's never going to be normal, although 1 in every 3 families in the UK is blended. Do you understand? It is so normal. Like, we are right on par with the nuclear family. The mum, dad, and kids, the next family type, the next family paradigm is the blended family.
Do you know what I think, though, as well? I think that we look, and this might just be my brain, it's a bit neurodiverse, right? But I feel like we look at things in such a black and white way. In my mind, I'm doing all the mental gymnastics. I'm like, there are so many biological parents who cause harm to their children.
Yeah.
It's not as black and white as I mean, we need content, right? We've got to have a conversation within a framework, but there are so many biological parents who do unspeakable harm to their children. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of children sitting in care homes, children that are abandoned, like, the list goes on. So it's not just as simple as, do you love your biological child as much as you love your stepchild? I feel like there's so many nuances.
And also, there's so many biological parents that are failing or feel unable to bond with their children.
With their children, yeah.
For
so
loads of reasons.
Yeah.
And all I'm really advocating for, I think it's fine to have these conversations, absolutely. All I really want stepmoms to do is give each other grace. So more often in our episodes, we're talking about just give yourself grace. I'm not asking you to give yourself grace. I'm asking you to give other stepmoms grace. I'm asking you to be willing to hear the stories of other stepmoms. Don't always be looking for the stepmom that has an identical journey to you where you can bond over your trauma or like be angry over the birth mom. Be willing to listen to other people in the blended family space and have like a fuller idea of what it is that's going on. Because if we can be kind to ourselves as a community, we can all get on the same page. When we're facing the world, it's going to be more of a force.
But we also need to be able to challenge one another. And
that's fine. But in the challenging, you learn, right?
Yeah.
In the asking of the questions, you learn.
Yeah.
In the statements, and then it's like, oh, never heard this statement before.
Yeah.
Or I've heard this statement before. What does it mean? Let's expand.
Yeah.
We're going to learn. And that's the point of us sitting here. It is not idle chit chat. Like we want to change the narrative. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, and we're learning.
Right.
And everyone's going to be learning with us. And hopefully everyone feels when they're listening like one of us.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
They have a part.
Yes.
But I don't feel like I'm like the woman who chucked the baby's picture in the bin the other day.
Oh,
that's not relatable to me.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Nats is on one today.
Oh my
God, are you okay,
She's
hon?
hungry.
Sorry.
Someone give her some lunch.
We're going to feed her in a minute.
This is all stemmed from Tia's voice note.
Yes.
But I think from even just thinking about that, the fact that she feels loved equally is like the biggest win ever. And that's all that I think as step parents that you want for your children, that they all feel equal. I mean, even not as a step parent, as a biological parent, you want your children to feel equal and loved and safe. So, I mean, that's a win for us today. A win's a win.
A win is a win.
But there's a lot of people, like we said, that actually feel really guilty that they don't love their stepchildren as much as they would like to. What advice do you think we can give them today?
Well, exactly what you said. Concentrate on making that child feel loved. You like it, the conversation, the thought process, it doesn't have to be about you. Maybe like stop thinking about yourself, like in the nicest way possible, to relieve pressure off of yourself. Stop telling yourself you ought to feel this way. It may come, it may not come, but what are you doing? Like, what are your actions portraying? What do you want the child to perceive of you? Are you a loving person? Can you give to that child what they need? Do you want to avail yourself to that child? And if you do, and if you respect that child and honor that child, I think you're doing a good job. I think you're doing okay. But don't go to yourself at night and say, I should feel this way. It's all about actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen to that, Cilla.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Well, that is today's episode done. I think that's a good one. It's good to have healthy debates.
Yep.
It's good to be able to hash it out, and that's what we've done. So thank you for listening. Please remember to follow Blended on Instagram, and please interact with our posts, send us questions, give us your thoughts, and if you're watching on YouTube, then please remember to subscribe and follow, and we'll be here at the same time next week. Lots of love. Mwah.